In this video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of every single airdrop that I'm farming in March 2024. I believe these airdrops are going to be some of the biggest of the year, and if you're not farming them, I would highly recommend watching this video. Actually, in this video, I'm going to be presenting a couple airdrops which I've never spoken about before, and I believe are super underrated because they've just been announced. And if you stick around until the end, I'll be revealing a bonus airdrop, which I think is going to surprise a lot of people, as I believe it's being severely underfarmed compared to other airdrop ecosystems. So if you're not already a subscriber of the channel, come and join the community. Over the last few months, we've hit some absolute bangers in terms of airdrops, Alt Layer being one of them, Jupiter, Wormhole, which I've been talking about for quite some time, Jito Finance towards the end of last year paid my followers over $20,000. That acted timely after I first posted my thread, and obviously Celestia was a big win. I was telling people to get in on the nodes and start interacting with Celestia actually at the very end of 2022, which is over a year ago now. So I try my best on the channel to give you the latest, most consistent airdrop alpha in the game, and that's why I'm here making today's video, because I want to keep you updated with a couple new airdrops that I have found, as well as giving you some new steps for existing airdrops that you know and love and are most likely already farming at the moment. So this will be my top 5, and as I said at the end, I'll give you a bonus 6th airdrop that I believe is being severely underfarmed. So click that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss any airdrop alpha, and happy bull market to everybody, because the market is absolutely ripping, Bitcoin pushing towards new all-time highs. It's a great time to be in this market. I just feel so blessed to be in this position to be able to do what I love every single day. Obviously, the market is rewarding us, and what does higher prices mean? Well, it means higher valuations, and higher valuations lead to bigger airdrops, because that is pretty much the basic mathematic behind crypto. If you have a higher valuation coin and the same amount of market participants, because participants right now, I believe, are actually lagging price in terms of new participants coming into the market, then that actually means airdrops are even bigger. So a lot of people right now are very focused on trading. I completely understand that. You can make a lot of money trading this market, but now is actually not the time to be fading airdrops. Quite the opposite. Now is the time to be paying attention to airdrops, because the valuations across the board are obviously going to be inflated. Let's get up the 2024 calendar to look at where we currently sit. We are sitting in March. Actually, on the day of releasing this video, it is late February, but most of you statistically will be watching this video in March, and this video is really trying to preempt you for the month of March as well as April, because I want to focus on the most time-sensitive airdrops in Q1. So the opportunities I'm giving today, although a couple are a bit longer term, most of them are the most time-pressing airdrops, because I want to make sure that you're allocating your time in the right manner. Of course, there are a lot of airdrops in the market at the moment. It can be overwhelming knowing where to start. So in today's video, I believe I'm presenting you a pretty good mix of airdrops to get started with if you haven't already, or just continue with in your airdrop farming in the month of March 2024. If you are watching this a little bit later, it is highly likely that the information is still relevant in April, but you do have to note the fact that people that are earlier to airdrops, they have more time to build up bridging volume, swapping volume, and they have more time to complete the requirements, galaxy campaigns, etc. before they expire. So a couple of these things are really time sensitive today, and of course that is why you should turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any time sensitive updates. So the first airdrop I want to discuss is Linea. This is one of my highest conviction airdrops of 2024, one that I'm spending a lot of time on, building up Linea XP points. And this one is a time sensitive one in the sense that they have just launched Linea Park as part of the Linea Voyage campaign, which is a brand new initiative that enables you to interact specifically with the gaming and NFT ecosystem building on Linea in order to earn Linea XP. Now, Linea XP is the only way right now to actually qualify for an airdrop based on all the information that we have in front of us. So pretty much the more XP that you are able to accumulate through these voyage initiatives, likely the bigger airdrop you're going to get. So we've really been given a blessing with this brand new campaign, especially for all those that missed the original DeFi campaign, because now you have a chance to actually interact with games and NFT projects in the ecosystem. And it's quite interesting because Linea is pretty much the highest funded chain in crypto, and we know that the chains with the higher valuations, the bigger funding, they tend to do bigger airdrops. This is pretty much just the name of the game when it comes to airdrop farming in crypto. So they've raised $725 million in funding at a staggering $7 billion valuation. But I think we can probably assert that it's going to be worth a lot more than that in the open market. I don't know what the market will be like in Q4, but based on current market conditions, even that is unders, which means there's going to be a massive airdrop. It's probably going to be one of, if not the biggest airdrops of the year. So what can you do? Of course, Linea Park is the main thing that I would be focusing on right now. I'll leave a link in the description below if you do want to participate in Linea Park. There are a lot of scam links going around, so just make sure you're going through either that link or the official website or the official Twitter account to make sure that you don't fall victim to any scams. And the other thing I would be doing is going onto the Linea Voyage page and making sure you're keeping up to date with the latest quests, because Linea Park, although it's the main way right now, it's not the only way to actually qualify for Linea XP. There are also events that actually pay you XP for attending their events. You can do certain things like interacting on chain, and all of this stuff, all of these campaigns with project partners are going to be on the Linea website. It's linea.build/activations. This will keep you up to date with everything, so I don't even need to tell you, but Linea Park is obviously the latest one, and this is the one I highly recommend focusing your attention on right now. Now, out of the entire Linea Park initiative, obviously there are many individual initiatives within that. There's one that really interests me, and this is minting an AI-generated Foxy NFT to earn some LXP. So if you mint an NFT, you are going to earn Linea XP points, which of course contribute towards an airdrop. But it's also interesting because Foxy, which is a new project on the Linea blockchain, which by the way already has 100,000 followers, which is pretty crazy. They are definitely hinting at something here. Step 1, mint Foxy. Step 2, Step 3. So I don't know exactly what that means, but this is one that really intrigues me because there's a little bit of mystery surrounding it, but there's also, of course, the chance to get LXP, which we know is going to contribute towards an airdrop. So that is something that I'm doing. I'll also leave a link in the description to that underneath the Linea Park section. So Linea is definitely one that I'm focusing on. That is the first one. Now moving on to a smaller project, not a behemoth like Linea, but one that I think could have a decent airdrop because I've seen it gaining a lot of traction in recent times. This is Parcel. Parcel is essentially a site that allows you to speculate on the rising and falling of real estate markets. So it's basically on-chain real estate. It's an RWA project built on Solana, backed by Coinbase, Dragonfly, Archetype, Solana Ventures. Big backers, and I think that's also going to mean it comes with a big valuation. We all know what I think about big valuations when it comes to airdrops. Hearing a lot of people saying, oh, it's too late for Parcel, you've missed the boat. But here's the thing. Parcel points right now are trading at 0.002 on Whales Market. Knowing that $1,000 generates 4,000 points per day, you're literally printing $8 per day at current rates. 292% APR on USDC. It's never too late to start farming the Parcel airdrop. And CC2, someone that I look up to in the airdrop space who's given us a lot of airdrop alpha over the past year, says that this season, which is season 3 for Parcel points, is not going to be the final one. So he is still actively farming Parcel as well. He says, it's one of my highest conviction bets on Solana for a while. Let's see how it will play out. Not too late to qualify either. So if you aren't in the game yet, the good news is it's not too late with the season 3 currently live. Now, what you can actually do to qualify for a Parcel airdrop is provide liquidity on chain. So this is essentially longing or shorting cities. Now, you have to be careful. I wouldn't do this with a whole lot of capital, but it's definitely worth getting some skin in the game, especially if you can pick markets with a low funding rate so you're not paying too much funding. And the other thing I would look to do is also maybe counterbalance your longs with some shorts so you don't have that much native market exposure if you're not experienced in this market. Of course, this does come with a risk whenever you are airdrop farming something that requires you to put up capital and not just burn through gas fees like on other chains where you're more so wash trading. You do have to be careful. I want to be clear of the risk. But of course, with the new Parcel Points season coming, and you can see the next update is going to be live pretty much around the time when this video is coming out, you can build up points. Another thing that you can do is actually earn points. So this doesn't even require you to put in TVL or even trade these assets. You can actually just refer friends. So if you have a way to refer friends, or if you have a Twitter following and you can refer other people, you can earn 10% of the points earned by each user you actually refer. So there's also an option here for people that don't necessarily want to put up their own capital, or maybe you don't have that much capital to use on Parcel. You can actually refer others and build up points as well. The point system is very transparent, and of course, this is a great indicator that an airdrop is coming. So this is one that I'm actively farming, and I don't think it's too late to qualify for Parcel. All right, now on to an airdrop, which is pretty much hot off the press. If you're watching this video within the first few weeks of it going live, you're very early to a protocol that I think is going to make a splash on Blast. It's called EasyX. They haven't actually launched their airdrop campaign yet. If you're watching this a week after, the campaign will be live, so you can check that out on their Twitter. But at the time of recording and uploading, this isn't live. So I'm giving you this opportunity pretty early. That's always something I want to do on this channel. And I'll also give you a couple things that you can actually do right now to put yourself in a position to qualify for a bigger airdrop. So what EasyX is it's essentially a DEX which allows you to leverage trade, but do it in an easy manner. The UI is actually being tweaked for the mobile experience. So if you're on iPhone or Android, you can actually easily open leverage positions and trade, but you can do so in a decentralized manner. So I think it's a very cool product, but they are of course launching on Blast. And this is a chain with a lot of attention right now. This is a chain with a lot of hype. And that's why I actually think this can gain a lot of traction. And why does that matter? Well, the more traction, the higher the valuation, and the higher the valuation, the bigger the airdrop. So the testnet is going to be coming soon. And testnet is going to essentially enable you to start building up some volume for the EasyX airdrop. So definitely keep your eye out for that. When it goes live, I'll be doing a follow-up mention in a video. I might also mention it in one of my upcoming Twitter threads. But right now, the best thing you can do is follow them on Twitter to stay up to date. And what you can do to get early access, so if you're watching this video and you want to do something right now, there's actually something you can do to potentially get your hands on an additional airdrop. And this is by participating in their Metaverse HQ early access campaign. You can essentially complete basic tasks in order to get early access. This buys you a bit of time because you have more time over the rest to actually farm an airdrop. And it also gives you an opportunity to be one of the first to test out the app. Another way that you can access this is via the official Galaxy. I will also leave this link in the description below. And this basically requires you to complete super simple tasks like following them on Twitter, joining their channel on Telegram, visiting their website, etc., liking and retweeting. Very, very simple. You can build up points just by doing this. And we all know in this market, Manta was a great example that we can't be fading Galaxy campaigns. In the past, a lot of people faded Galaxies, but they've actually ended up being definitely a worthwhile pursuit considering it literally takes a few minutes. So in terms of right now, what you can do today, before the airdrop campaign is live, you can sign up for early access. Once again, I'll leave a link in the description below. And obviously through this, you'll be following them on Twitter and you'll be in the Telegram. So you're updated as soon as it launches. And as soon as it launches, I'll be trading on the platform in order to build up some volume for an airdrop. Now, the next airdrop I'm going to mention is one of the airdrops I'm most bullish on. It's a big airdrop. I've given you a couple slightly smaller ones just then, but I mean, in terms of individual size, they might not end up being smaller. But now I'm going to give you a big FDV one that I think could replicate a wormhole. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you an airdrop that I think is being underfarmed. And a lot of airdrops right now are being overfarmed. ZK Sync's being hit with a lot of cybles, for example. There's an airdrop that I think, because it's being underfarmed, could actually end up being bigger than ZK Sync. Not in terms of overall size, but in terms of nominal value per airdrop user. So stick around until the end to find out what that is and get the latest scoop on that. Until then, I'll hit you with some more alpha. Polyhedra, one of the airdrops I have the most conviction in now that Wormhole has officially announced their snapshot. They're another interoperability protocol, and they raised 25 million from a variety of major backers like Polychain, KuCoin, Binance Labs, Animoca Brands. Absolutely stacked, probably going to launch in the multi-billion-dollar valuation range. And you can essentially use their bridges right now. And this is a good one because you don't really need to put too much liquidity up front to farm an airdrop. Keep in mind, you will be paying gas. So airdrops aren't a free game. They cost time. They do have a liquidity opportunity cost if you're, using money to bridge in the short term. And they also cost gas fees. Of course, testnet airdrops are mostly just a time spend, but testnet airdrops are also slightly smaller than your mainnet airdrops. So you have to keep that in mind. On Polyhedra, what I recommend doing is going onto the website, click on ZK Bridge up top once you're on the website. And it's very simple. What I do is I work left to right on the website. So if you start left, there's a token tab. The token tab allows you to transfer tokens across chains using their native ZK bridge. So you can bridge from Ethereum to Polygon, Base, BNB, Arbitrum back. If you use the lower gas chains, this is actually a better play because then you spend less money on gas fees. If you have money on Ethereum, you might have to deal with that initial gas, but then after that, you can use the cheaper chains. I don't think it'll matter too much in terms of qualifying for an airdrop, as long as you're consistent with your bridging and you do vary the chains that you use. So don't just do Polygon to Optimism constantly. Make sure to vary it. A little bit of alpha here. They have a couple chains here: Linea, Base, and Scroll. What do Linea, Base, and Scroll have in common? Oh, they're both, or not both because there's three. All three of them potentially have a future airdrop. Two of them are pretty much guaranteed, Linea and Scroll. Base we don't know, but I think they will, between you and I. So three of these have a future airdrop. What does this mean? You guessed it, 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that because you used the bridge, you're going to get an airdrop, but I mean, it's a damn good requirement to tick off. We know Arbitrum, ZK Sync, they're going to take into account bridging volume. Arbitrum did take into account bridging volume. So by doing a little bit of bridging across Linea, Scroll, Base, it's a pretty good bet to be able to get your hands on those airdrops as well as Polyhedra. So this is something I'm really focusing on, ramping up the volume across those chains. Working left to right in the website, in addition to this, you can also mint and transfer NFTs. I don't think this will be a major component, but it's still something you probably should do. If a project is giving you something to do, you should probably do it to tick off an airdrop, but definitely know where to spend most of your time. And of course, on Polyhedra, that is bridging and also using the applications that are utilizing Polyhedra tech on top of ZK Bridge. The other thing you can do is you can create a message. Really, you're only paying gas. You're transferring a message across chains. It's very, very simple. You've also got their OP-BNB bridge. I would also use this because it's an additional bridge that you can use on top of their native bridge. And then there are a bunch of ecosystem projects that you can check out that use ZK Bridge and such, which will potentially enable you to get access to other ways to qualify for an airdrop. But definitely my major focus is bridging here. Now, there's a really good thread by Polyhedra, which I'm going to link in the description if you want a written guide. I haven't actually done a written guide myself. I've talked about it on the show prior to this video, but I haven't actually done a thread. So if you want a nice thread, I'll leave a link in the description below because I believe Erect Fencer does a great job at breaking it down. All right, I've got 3 more airdrops to share with you. 2 airdrops, which are slightly smaller, that I'm farming. One of them is great because it's another 2 bird 1 stone situation. And then the final airdrop is one that I think is being underfarmed, and that is a bonus airdrop. The first one I want to discuss is DeFi Spot. DeFi Spot is essentially an application utilizing ThorChain technology that is a DEX aggregator, which encompasses over 92% of DeFi liquidity. So it gets the best routing across a variety of AMMs to give you the best price. They do this by tapping into nearly all liquidity sources in DeFi to ensure you receive the lowest slippage and best prices. But what's even cooler is the fact that you can earn an airdrop just for swapping on DeFi Spot. And they actually have an official leaderboard airdrop that has a point system, which is a very strong indicator that they're going to be doing an airdrop. Whenever a project gives you a point system, very strong sign they're doing an airdrop. Like all airdrops, they need to be tokenless for an airdrop to occur. And of course, DeFi Spot has not launched their token yet. When it comes, best believe that the people that build up the most swap volume are going to get their hands on an airdrop first. So what I recommend doing is getting on DeFi Spot. And the best thing is you don't really need to do anything abnormal here because you're just building up swapping volume. However you want to do it. If you want to swap stablecoins to stablecoins or ETH to stablecoins back to ETH, you don't really need to give up that much capital. Maybe you'll lose a tiny bit to slippage, yes, and you'll also be paying gas fees. But because they're across a variety of blockchains, just stick to the cheaper chains. You don't need to use Ethereum for this. So, of course, there's amazing things you can do, like Bitcoin and ETH. Obviously, that's powered by ThorChain. That's one amazing capability of the application. But you can also utilize ZK Era. ZK Era is great because it can help you qualify for an airdrop at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone. Which obviously is great. You guys know by now I love the most efficient routes for airdrop farming. I always like to include them in my farming strategy. But I mean, it's pretty simple. Just do some swaps on a regular basis, build up some volume, obviously put that in your spreadsheet, make sure you're ticking it off consistently, and build up your points just by swapping back and forth. They literally spell it out for you here. They literally say here, keep trading, keep saving fees, every transaction and dollar will count. Every transaction and dollar will count. Well, this pretty much tells me, A, the amount of transactions is going to be a prerequisite, and B, the amount of total trading volume is going to be a prerequisite. So that is pretty much alpha for you right there, and you can go off and trade and build up some volume. I think this will be relatively soon, probably Q1, so that is one that I'm looking forward to. 2 more to get into. The first one is ZK Sync. Now, in this video, I'm not actually going to go through the steps for ZK Sync because you've heard about it a million times and you're probably sick of it by now. Am I still interacting with ZK Sync? Yes, absolutely I am. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. I've been talking about it since Q3, Q4, 2022 on my Twitter and YouTube. I'm kind of getting sick of talking about it. However, what I'm not getting sick of is interacting with new applications on ZK Sync, which also haven't done an airdrop. Sorry to say it again, but 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm implementing this strategy actively on ZK Sync because I kind of am getting sick of farming the same applications over and over again. And there are actually some amazing new applications like ZeroLend, which enable you to A, potentially get a ZK Sync airdrop, but B, get a native airdrop on their own application like Zero, who are doing an airdrop. So what you can do is you can go onto ZeroLend. and you can supply liquidity, so you can borrow or supply assets in order to qualify for an airdrop. But they actually spell it out for you and make it even more simple. And I'll leave a link in the description to this below, alongside all the other resources from today's video to make it very easy for you. They literally have a leaderboard, a points leaderboard. This is a very common trend in crypto now, which is amazing because it makes airdrop farming that much easier because you always know where you stand, where essentially you earn points in order for completing basic requirements in the zero gravity airdrop campaign. So what are some of the things you can do to build up points? Join their Discord. You get 100 points just for joining their Discord. Say good morning in their Discord every day, and you get 10 points per good morning per day. Is that not the easiest thing to do ever? Like, literally, that is just free money. I mean, it takes obviously 2 seconds to type GM, but free money. You might be earning $1 per GM. I don't know exactly, but yeah. Decent risk reward there. You can also supply collateral to the lending market. This is where you can really earn the big points. It's supplying and borrowing assets. Obviously, supplying is slightly less risky because you're basically supplying your USDC. Of course, there's always smart contract risk. So never put all your money in a DeFi application. I want to make that clear. There are risks in crypto. They have been officially audited, but still always be safe. But you can supply collateral to the lending market. In exchange, you obviously earn that APR that is native on the platform, depending on what you actually supply. So supply APR on LUSD is 3.8%, on DAI it's 5.18%, on USDC it's 1.72%, Tether it's in a slightly lower region, but in the 1%, around the 1% mark. That's one way that you can earn points. But actually, the way to earn more points is borrowing assets. Now, of course, this is a bit riskier because you need to put up an asset, and you need to put up an asset that has an LTV, so you don't want to put up a very volatile asset because then your tokens can essentially get liquidated. So in that case, what I would recommend doing is putting up stable coins, borrowing stable coins, deal with the less volatile assets. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they do have some volatility, but they are less volatile as well. Of course, the APRs are going to be slightly lower than some of these other tokens, which are likely to pay a higher APR, but that can be a safer approach, for those that would like to take it. So you earn 4 points per day actually from borrowing assets on the lending market, 4 points per US dollar per day. So the more you borrow in dollar terms, the more points you're going to earn. Another thing you can do is stake PIF. You can refer other users for a 20% referral bonus. That's definitely worth doing. And then you can do things like follow them on Twitter, etc. These are upcoming tasks which aren't live yet, so I recommend keeping up to date with Zero Gravity. And the best part about ZeroLend is you're putting yourself in a position to qualify for Zero, but you're also building up key volume for the ZK Sync airdrop. So even if you don't get one, you're likely to get the other. And if you're lucky, you'll get both, which is absolutely amazing. And I think that, once again, the Zero airdrop can do well. All right, now for the moment you've been waiting for. I mean, I don't know why you were waiting for this moment specifically, because I think the whole video has had a lot of alpha. Definitely, I think this video can result in some fruitful airdrops for you guys. But the last one is one that I think is being underfarmed. And it's one previously I was fading because it's just, I don't think it's going to happen until Q4, guys. But then again, the earlier you can actually get in, the much bigger your airdrop's going to be because you have more time to build up for the requirements. So I'm going to talk about this airdrop. The first thing I just want to make clear, just to be fully transparent, I like to be fully transparent in every single video, is that I am an early stage investor in some of the projects in today's video. Not every project. So I'm not an early stage investor in Linea. I'm not an early stage investor in Parcel. I'm not an early stage investor in Polyhedra or the next one I'm going to talk about, or ZK Sync. But I am an early stage investor in EasyX, DeFi Spot, and ZeroLend. Part of the reason why I'm so in the know with those protocols in terms of the airdrop is because I'm an early investor, so I kind of have a little bit of alpha for you guys. But I just want to make that clear. Of course, the tokens aren't even live yet. That's why we're speaking about an airdrop, but I always want to, be transparent when I'm an investor in a protocol. I think it's the right thing to do. All right, now let's get on with the last airdrop. It is, of course, Scroll. So now Scroll is one that I've spoken about before, but it's clearly one of the most well-funded and highest valued new crop of ZK layer 2s coming onto the market. $80 million raised at a 1.8 bill val. Like the others, I think this launches a lot higher than 1.8 bill, probably in the 5 to 10 bill plus range. I mean, Starknet launched at 30 bill. ZK Sync will be similar. By that logic, Linea should be similar as well. Lots and lots of potential in these layer 2s. There's just so much demand, I feel, still for like block space infrastructure bets in crypto. It's where the market and VCs love to put capital. Now, I saw an interesting tweet by Toby, which outlined the stats for Scroll, and they're pretty astonishing. He said that I studied the Scroll June dashboards and my own numerous wallets, and the results were astonishing. Scroll is by far the most underfarmed layer 2 airdrop, and the main reason is the high gas fees. This is the edge. Check one of my wallets. Here's what you need to be in the top 10% of scroll farmers. 25 transactions. Well, that's pretty easy to get. 10 plus contracts. That's pretty easy to get. 4 plus months. Okay. That takes a while, but this is probably Q3, Q4 airdrop anyway, so you'll be able to get those 4 months in. 7 plus weeks, which is easy if you're going for the 4 months, and then use the mainnet bridge just once. And if you do that, you're in the top 10%. So for me, this is extremely underfarmed and an extremely easy one to take part in. Now, CC2 blessed us with an amazing step-by-step guide, which means I didn't even need to put one together for you because he did just as good of a job as I could have done, if not better. You need to bridge in Orbiter Finance. So bridge ETH to scroll. That ticks off that mainnet bridge requirement. You need to build up volume on SyncSwap. SyncSwap doesn't have a token yet. 2 birds, 1 stone once again. You need to build up volume so you can swap ETH to USDC, to USDT, Bitcoin on an application like Aperture Finance. Aperture also has no token once again. Get another airdrop. You guys know I like the efficiency. I love the efficiency of when you can get one airdrop and another at the same time. Sometimes you can even get 3 at once. It's just so much better. So I always look for opportunities where you can get multiple airdrops. Number 4 is volume. Swap ETH to USDC, USDT, or BTC. You can also provide liquidity. One more thing you can do is deploy your own contract, buy NFTs, etc. CC2 goes into a little bit more depth. I'm going to, once again, leave a link in the description to this post so you have it. But I'm pretty much exactly what I'm doing. Maybe minus the last step. I'm pretty much doing everything that he's doing. So I recommend just looking at this post because it sums it up and I want to save you time. But Scroll is definitely one that I am paying attention to. I think it's going to be one of the biggest airdrops, potentially because it's being underfarmed. It could be one of the biggest airdrops per user. So that is my list of 5 airdrops plus the bonus one, which is Scroll. Certainly last but not least, I'll leave all the links in the description to the resources that are necessary from today's video. Certainly lots of actionable alpha. So if you don't have your Excel or Google Sheets spreadsheet updated with the checklist, maybe go through it and update it with some of the new steps I gave you. To make sure that you're on top of it. And also you can refer back to this video if you need somewhere to refer back to. I'm going to keep you updated as anything changes. There are a few obviously new initiatives coming for everything. Linea always has new initiatives. EasyX is going to launch, probably already launched this airdrop campaign by the time you are watching this video. Probably more interesting things to come from the other airdrops I mentioned today as well. Parcel Season 3, etc. So this is always an evolving space. I'll try my best to keep in the loop, but the best thing you can do is also follow them on Twitter, join their Discords, join their Telegram, stay on top of it yourself as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. Click subscribe to stay up to date with the latest airdrop opportunities. Hit that post notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely day. Peace.